And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered in multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Friday. The last week of preseason kicks off tonight with 4 games on, folks. So let's see if we can make a little bit of money. We'll predict those games, see where that great value is. Last week of preseason starters, some starters starting, not really a lot of them starting. So we'll see what the value is during those 4 games and pick our winners. And then if we have time in the show, we're going to start seeing how we can make some money during the regular season, projecting the win totals for all the teams and finding out where those great win total values are, seeing if we can find those win totals. If the win totals is 9, can we find 9 solid wins, 10 solid wins for a team? So we'll be looking at that today and throughout the rest of the off season until week 1 starts. So let's just jump right into it with the stories of the day. And the first one up, well, here we go, folks. Quarterback battle number 3 has been confirmed, and the new starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints is, drumroll please, Jameis famous E.W. Winston. Sheesh. Well, I mean, I think we all saw this coming after preseason game number 2, where Jameis Winston absolutely let it fly, let that thing loose. 2 big 40 to 50 yard bomb touchdowns to Marquez Callaway. 1 double covered for a touchdown, 1 single covered. Perfect catch, perfect throw, and another touchdown. So Jameis Winston, I got to give this man all the credit in the world, truly going out there and winning that quarterback duel. He wasn't favored. We kind of heard. We don't know how much this is. We only saw kind of one person on Twitter. He was blue checkmark verified, but he said, in the beginning, the Saints were like, yeah, we're kind of leaning towards Taysom Hill. So it's not like Jameis Winston had kind of the leg up in the competition. It kind of like Drew Lock did, just because he's been there a little bit longer. Taysom Hill was, with the Saints for the last couple of seasons, so a little bit of a leg up, a little bit more familiar with the offense, a little bit more familiar with the wide receivers and Sean Payton, and was able to learn under Drew Brees for more years than Jameis Winston did. But Jameis Winston went out and won the starting job. Absolutely fantastic. So we got to give it up for Jameis Winston out here for, looking absolutely magnificent. Now, he's going to have to keep up this level of play, and we believe he can. We actually know he can. We've seen this man be a starter in this league, and we can look at his stats. They're absolutely very good. Obviously, the interceptions is obviously the one red flag on the man. But, I mean, that 5,000-yard season, folks, that 5,000-yard season, coveted 5,109 yards. But, unfortunately, you get the 30 interceptions as well. But, I mean, I can rock with 64% completion percentage, 63% completion percentage. Would like to see that up a little bit more. But that was back in 2017. So, we do need to see it a little bit higher. We'd like to see him around 65. But, a season off, looking to be as good as he was with that Bucs team in 2019. And we know when he had that infamous 30 for 30 season, learned under Drew Brees, has some great wide receivers. Obviously, he's not going to have Michael Thomas for the first couple of weeks, but I mean, do they even need him anymore? You got mother-loving Marquez Callaway that just kind of came into this league in preseason game number 2. So hopefully this passing offense can still be great with Jameis Winston at the helm. We'll see if Taysom Hill still kind of returns to his tight end role because he still can have a nice solid fit here in the offense overall. We know his kind of skill set at the tight end position, and he can also throw the ball, so a little bit of trick plays. I don't think we're not going to see any Taysom Hill this season, but Jameis Winston is going to be the starting quarterback. So very well done to Jameis Winston out there for going out there, winning the starting job for the Saints. Got to congratulate him. And, we definitely hope he can kind of, resettle in as a starting quarterback, get some wins. That's kind of the other little bit of a little bit of a red flag, a little bit of a knock on Jameis Winston. It just doesn't result into wins. 6-10 rookie year, 9-7. That was his best year. Year 2, then 3-10, 3-6, 7-9. So we do need to see him kind of start winning some more games. Like what we say about Teddy Bridgewater, we need to see him win more games. It's great that they're going out and winning these starting quarterback battles, but you do now need to take this next step. All right, first step was winning the job. Now I can go out there every single week. All the pressure's on me now. I mean, they just fought for a month to see, all right, who wants all the pressure? You want the pressure of leading a franchise to wins and being a playoff caliber team? Because the New Orleans Saints, folks, I mean, they know winning. I mean, they've been known winning for the last 15 years, always pretty much having a winning record, always pretty much getting into the playoffs. Not as good as that Patriots dynasty with Tom Brady when they were winning Super Bowls every year, but there still is a huge level of expectations for the Saints team. And Jameis Winston is going to have all that pressure on him to go and produce and get it done. Now, we believe he can get it done, folks. You cannot have this statistical season that Jameis Winston did in 2019. This is why we still have faith in Jameis Winston. The 5,000-yard season, the 33 passing touchdowns, absolutely magnificent. I mean, that is such a coveted group of 5,000-yard passers where you got to have at least some reservation of a special place in our heart. So if Jameis Winston can put up those numbers in 2019, hopefully he can kind of put up those same numbers while resulting into wins. So that's definitely going to be something that we're going to have to look at. And like Michael Thomas, may be a little bit tougher for him in the beginning, but Marquez Callaway, if he's going to have that great chemistry like we just saw in preseason game number 2, just going to him consistently down the field, trusting him to be open, trusting Marquez Callaway to find the ball in the air. I mean, we go back to that first Jameis Winston touchdown in preseason game number 2, and it was double covered, and it was still a good ball overall thrown, but Marquez Callaway deserves a lot more credit for finding the ball in the air. That was a little bit, low into the, a little bit more inside, and no defender was kind of looking and playing the ball. So Marquez Callaway deserves a lot of credit for helping Jameis Winston get the starting job. Now, Taysom Hill has been truly disappointing. Going into this offseason, when we knew this was going to be a quarterback battle, we thought Taysom Hill should have been the starter. But he has done nothing to show us that he's truly earned that position. We've heard nothing great about Taysom Hill the entire offseason. It was always up and down. He'd have like a touchdown and an interception, or 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in practice, just never truly proving that he should be the guy. And then preseason games start to come, and once again, Taysom Hill is not doing anything special to go out there and prove that I deserve to be the starting quarterback for the Saints. So in that regard, we're truly disappointed in Taysom Hill for just not being good or consistent at all here in the last kind of month and a half. This was his big chance, his big opportunity. Sitting behind Drew Brees for multiple seasons, being a tight end and showing that skill set, showing his dual threat ability last season when he started a couple of games, and showing that kind of deep ball. He doesn't have as good of a deep ball as Jameis Winston does, but he still is able to kind of make all the throws needed on the field. Plus, you give him the dual threat. It really seemed like it was his job for the taking, but he just never went and took it. He honestly was so lackluster, and I'm very disappointed in Taysom Hill. I thought we were going to get a better showing out of him in this offseason, and he just never kind of exploded onto the scene. He just never did that. So very, very upset with Taysom Hill. But, hey, we get Jameis Winston back in the league. Hey, this is your second opportunity, your second shot. Go and make the most out of it, and we truly believe that Jameis Winston will. So congratulations for Jameis Winston making the starting spot for the Saints. A lot of pressure on you, but we think Jameis Winston can handle it. I mean, we've been seeing this man work out and get better. He does seem to be a little bit of a better leader. We've had some examples in the offseason, him at camp with some kids, kind of hyping them up a little bit. We'll see what his kind of quarterback breakdowns on game day are like. That's kind of a big tradition with the Saints of Drew Brees just absolutely murdering those pre-game speeches, just getting everybody hyped, getting everybody to buy in, getting everybody ready to run through a brick wall because we got some football to be played, 4 quarters, 15 minutes each, and you gotta be out there every single play, getting it done, smashing head-to-head against other grown men, and Drew Brees was the master at getting those guys ready to rock. So let's see if Jameis Winston can kind of, keep that up, keep the wins up, and try to get this Saints team back to a Super Bowl that has eluded them the last couple of years with Drew Brees. It's unfortunate, but those are the facts. Drew Brees just couldn't really get it done down the stretch the last kind of 3 seasons. Truly unfortunate. So congratulations to Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill, man. A little disappointed in you. Truly. I don't know if you're going to get another shot. I mean, can he get another shot? Does anybody kind of, do this? If the Saints ever let him go, does a team just kind of pick up Taysom Hill? I don't know. So I think he may have blown his one and only shot to be a true starting quarterback in this league. What a pity. Alrighty. Then we get this other tweet here by Adam Schefter. Saints players were spotted yesterday congratulating Jameis Winston, who locked up the job with a strong performance during Monday night's preseason win over the Jaguars. So that is truly interesting. Hopefully, when it's not like officially announced, it's just insider information here with Adam Schefter. I don't see this kind of decision being fake or being reversed at all. But I would like to hear from Sean Payton on the decision overall. How close was the quarterback battle? Will we kind of hear Sean Payton say, yeah, he actually won it? We were kind of giving Taysom Hill a little bit of a leg up in the beginning. So when it officially gets announced by the team and Sean Payton, hopefully we get a nice good quote there by Sean Payton on how this quarterback battle actually looked from the inside, since unfortunately we are not on the inside, we are on the outside and just watching and judging. So Jameis Winston, folks, the starting quarterback for the Saints. Alrighty, let's talk about another quarterback out here, Drew Lock. We know that he ended up losing the starting quarterback battle yesterday against Teddy Bridgewater, and then he's at the podium press conference, being asked about it, and he kind of, plays it off well. He's like very disappointed. He says he's disappointed, which is natural. I mean, you go and work, put in all the time. You believe you're putting in so much work that you truly deserve this. You believe you're getting it done out on the field and making the right reads for the last month and a half. And, you're in a quarterback competition. Nobody wants to lose. Nobody likes losing in general. And now, when it's, 1v1, all eyes on you. The media talking about you every single day, judging your performances, critiquing your performances, and then you come up just a little bit short. Of course you're going to be disappointed, but Drew Lock still says, hey, I want to make the team better any way I can. No hard feelings toward Teddy Bridgewater, no disrespect, anything like that. And he's still going to continue to work and get better. So very good class here by Drew Lock. And he's still young, folks. I mean, he's only going into his 3rd year. He has the ability to kind of reemerge if Teddy Bridgewater doesn't work out. And that's kind of what we were saying yesterday on the show. Yes, Teddy Bridgewater is the starter right now, but this Broncos team is still expecting good wins. They believe they have a great team overall, offensively, defensively. I know a lot of people in the media are hyping up this Broncos defense to potentially be kind of like a top 5 defense in the league this season. And if, Teddy Bridgewater is just not being that game-managing quarterback that he really only needs to be this season, I don't think the Broncos will have any problem going to Drew Lock on the bench. So Drew Lock, just stay prepared, and we know he is going to. And, when your opportunity comes, try and take advantage, the most that you can. But he is still young, so let's not kind of, shy away from Drew Lock or kind of, put him into oblivion and never think about this man again. He's got a big arm, folks. We love this man's cannon arm. Just has to rein it in a little bit, has to be a little bit more consistent. And, learning under Teddy Bridgewater for a year, still learning this offense, it could pay dividends for Drew Lock come next season when the Broncos may move off of Teddy or, when another team opens up. We do already kind of know that the Steelers are going to be looking for a quarterback. They don't have the quarterback of the future on their team right now. Mason Rudolph, Dwayne Haskins. I'm taking Drew Lock over both of those any day of the week. I would take Drew Lock with one arm over Dwayne Haskins and Mason Rudolph. They're just absolutely not it at all. So there is at least one true open destination for quarterbacks next season in the Steelers. Maybe potentially another one with the Texans. We still don't know what the hell is going on over there. But, Drew Lock, stay busy, still kind of progress and get better, and, make the most out of the benching this season. Learn as much as you can from the bench, and next season, maybe request a trade if that's what you need to do. Try, we know Gardner Minshew is like, hey, I want to be a starter here, so there is still going to be some competition in the kind of free agent, maybe trade market at the quarterback position. So Drew Lock, I don't think this is the end of him quite yet. I still think this man can have what it takes to win in this league. Just have to clean up some things. Unfortunate that he couldn't win the starting quarterback battle. We do believe it was the right decision to start Teddy Bridgewater over Drew Lock. Teddy Bridgewater's stats are very, very good. We believe he can be that game manager where Drew Lock, just, you had 2 seasons. You had more time than Teddy Bridgewater did in this offense, and you still just couldn't quite make it work. So Drew Lock, all class at his press conference, and unfortunately, he will not be the starting quarterback. So we'll see how he continues to develop this season, and if he gets in at any point. Hopefully he's ready if that is the case. Alrighty, here we go. Let's still keep talking about quarterback competitions and battles, because the Patriots could. We don't know. We don't know what the hell Bill Belichick is thinking. He gives us nothing. Josh McDaniels doesn't really talk either. So we don't really know if there is an open quarterback competition, if they're truly set on Cam Newton. We've heard Bill Belichick say that Cam Newton is the starter. Do we really believe it? Not really. He didn't really sell us when he said it. He was like, Cam Newton's our starter. You believe that, folks? You buy into that? I don't buy into that. So, in that we saw, obviously, Mac Jones have 3 days to himself while Cam Newton was out during with the COVID-19 misunderstanding. So Cam Newton was back at practice yesterday, and we knew it was kind of big on Cam Newton. There was a lot of pressure on Cam Newton to come back 5 days removed from the team and instantly pick up where he left off, and that's exactly what he did. So maybe there is no more quarterback competition right here. Cam Newton is back in practice yesterday and was looking good. We get some nice anecdotes here tweet-wise on what some people saw, some official verified people saw on Twitter. Cam Newton's first day back, so here we go. Game situation type setup at practice today. Cam Newton took the first series of 11-on-11s and went 4 of 7. Mac Jones took the next 2, one with the top offensive line, one with the backups, and went 10 of 21, yikes, with an interception and 3 drops. Newton was 2 of 3 on 7-on-7s, and Jones was 1 of 2. So, once again, Cam Newton looking pretty good his first day back. Mac Jones, unfortunately, still a little up and down, not putting, good days on top of good days on top of good days together in practice, and unfortunately may have taken a little bit of a step back once their, competition was reintroduced in training camp, because like we know, Cam Newton was not at practice Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All right, then we get this one. Cam Newton up first and takes him 8 plays to get into the end zone with the first team against the Giants. They are still in joint practice for their upcoming preseason game this week. In Mac Jones up second, he throws a pick on his second throw, and then it takes 18 plays for Mac Jones to get the first team offense into the end zone for a touchdown. So took Cam Newton 8 plays, Mac Jones throwing an interception, and then taking 18 plays. So Mac Jones, I don't think is quite ready yet to lead this team to some quality wins, and we still kind of are going to believe that Cam Newton is going to be the starter here. So like we said yesterday on the show, we are kind of buying into Cam Newton only 1%. We only have 1% stake in Cam Newton kind of coming into this offseason, And we kind of put that 1% stake on the line yesterday, saying, hey, if Cam Newton comes out and performs very, very well, we'll maybe buy a little bit more. And if he comes out and flounders, we sell our last percent and we're done with Cam Newton for potentially ever. But with the way that Cam Newton played yesterday, I think we maybe buy a couple more percent. I think we'll buy up to I think we'll give him 5% buyability now. We buy into Cam Newton 5% now. And that's getting better. It's going up, which is good. You never want that value to go down. But maybe Cam Newton is putting all the kind of quarterback competition discussions to rest. We still have this last and final preseason game to be played this week for the Patriots. But the fact that Cam Newton was able to kind of work virtually for the last couple of days and then come right back in, not skip a beat, not miss a step, not kind of take a couple of plays off or just kind of take a day to get reacclimated and re-caught up to speed, the man was out here and looking a little bit better than Mac Jones overall. So we got to give some credit to Cam Newton. That's absolutely perfect what he did yesterday. All right, and then the last tweet here that kind of summed up what Mac Jones was doing. Mac Jones' main drive with the starters was all around sloppy. Long 20-play drive that featured 2 fourth downs, 1 false start, several drops, and an interception that was wiped out by a flag. Even the touchdown to Bourne, their wide receiver, required a spectacular adjustment and catch. So Mac Jones just not ready to kind of take the true reins of this Patriots team. And, Bill Belichick believes in this defense. They believe they did enough in the offseason acquiring the wide receivers and the tight ends to make them a good overall team. And then, getting rid of Sony Michel. So they're believing heavy in the run game with Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris now. So they're just kind of saying, hey, we just truly need to get this quarterback position right. And Cam Newton may just be that kind of decent game manager that they need at the current moment, where Mac Jones maybe isn't at that level of quarterback play yet, that can just be a game manager and just let everybody else take care of the game offensively, defensively, to put them in the positions to score, to stop the opposing team from scoring, and then they just keep winning some close games because the quarterback is just managing the game at that position. So, seems like Cam Newton is probably going to be the starter. We'll see what, I don't think we've heard anything on the Patriots on what they are kind of planning on doing with their quarterbacks in the final preseason game. We know a lot of teams aren't starting their starting quarterbacks, but what team is I forgot what team is starting their starting quarterbacks. Daniel Jones will be starting this week with the Giants. That's what we're talking about. It's different philosophies with different coaches, and we'll see what Bill Belichick is up to. Does he give Cam Newton some more reps here because he didn't, he was out a couple of days this week? Does he just kind of rely on Mac Jones? They say, hey, this is a full game. You're probably not going to be the starter, but maybe if you play so freaking well that we can't even deny it, maybe then you'll have a potential chance to maybe possibly be the week 1 starter, potentially. So we'll see what Bill Belichick decides to do here for final preseason game with the Giants. But Cam Newton had a great day at practice yesterday, and that's absolutely perfect and exactly what we wanted to see. So we give credit to Cam Newton. All right. What do we got up next here? Here we go. Well, another quarterback battle. So now we're only waiting on the 49ers and Matt Nagy to change his mind. All the other quarterback battles are settled. Well, I guess the Patriots too. So those 3 are the only quarterback battles, but they're really not even quarterback battles at this point, or really never really were in the first place. But San Francisco 49ers quarterbacks Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo alternated reps with the first team offense on Wednesday and Thursday. So Kyle Shanahan still playing this game, still not showing his cards, even though literally every other team that had a true quarterback competition where we felt both quarterbacks really had a true 50-50 chance at being named the starter, those 3 quarterback competitions with the Saints, the Broncos, and maybe not even the Jags. There was really only 2. There was no way Gardner Minshew was starting this season. It's unfortunate and shouldn't have been the case, but that's what Urban Meyer's case was. So Really, the only two true quarterback competitions was the Saints and the Broncos. This 49ers one, it's like we're not seeing enough out of Trey Lance. We're not seeing the big play. We're not seeing the consistent plays. We're only getting the big plays, only the big highlight plays, and that's exactly what was going on with Drew Lock. It wasn't consistent. It was just one big play that really kind of stole everybody's focus and attention. It was kind of like, oh yeah, Drew Lock should be the starter. That's a great ball. Trey Lance should be the starter because that was a great ball. But that's not what they are consistently throwing the ball, being accurate. They're not that consistent at that. And we saw that with Drew Lock last season. That's kind of why he wasn't the true starter going into the season, because he wasn't consistent. And with Trey Lance, we just haven't seen him be consistent. And you have Jimmy Garoppolo still on your team, which is a proven winner. We just looked at his overall record. It's like 24-8 as a starter. It's absolutely fantastic. So you have a proven winning head quarterback on this team, and Kyle Shanahan is still not naming a starter. We think it's a little bit too much here. We know it's going to be Jimmy Garoppolo. There's no way it's going to be Trey Lance week one. Maybe a little bit later in the season if Trey Lance can still develop and learn, but I don't even know if that. I really think Trey Lance only plays if Jimmy Garoppolo goes down, which is still a big possibility. That's why they got Trey Lance. So we weren't really buying that this was, maybe in the beginning we were, but we don't really buy that this is a true quarterback competition. We know it's going to be Jimmy G, but Kyle Shanahan is still kind of playing this game. Why are we playing this game this close to the start of the regular season? Get the ones ready to rock. Jimmy Garoppolo kind of gave it away yesterday at the press conference. All smiles, being like, yeah, I have a pretty good idea of who's going to be the starting quarterback. All smiles, classic Jimmy G face. We know it's Jimmy G. Just come out and say it. Stop playing this game. I think it hurts the team overall because now, the offensive line and the wide receivers are still spending more time developing their rhythm and timing with Trey Lance when they can be developing and working on their timing with the actual starter of Jimmy Garoppolo. I've got no problems with open quarterback competitions if they are true open quarterback competitions. Like if Urban Meyer, we don't get why Urban Meyer was stringing along Gardner Minshew as long as he did. It makes no sense. You've got a number 1 overall pick. Get that man all the reps. Get him up to speed because we know he's going to be the starter. Stop taking reps away from Jimmy Garoppolo, who we know is going to be the starter. Get him ready to rock. Get him ready to roll so y'all can finally win it this season and not flounder like y'all have done the last 2 seasons with the injuries and in the Super Bowl and all that. Get y'all starters ready to rock. Stop playing with Trey Lance. Develop him, in the background. You don't need to kind of come out and, let him take all these first team reps this deep into the offseason when you clearly know who's going to be the starter. We saw Trey Lance in preseason games. It wasn't anything consistent. Nothing that we believe is going to be consistently able to win games or be competitive in games throughout the entire season. So that's where we're at with the 49ers. Hopefully Kyle Shanahan, hey, we just got the third one. The Saints are going to be probably naming it officially at some point today. I'm kind of surprised it hasn't been officially announced by really anybody. It's just Adam Schefter coming out and saying it. Which isn't really, it is because he is a trusted source, but it's not like the team's Twitter coming out. It's not Sean Payton coming out and saying it. And it still hasn't really been confirmed right here. So we don't really know what Kyle Shanahan is waiting on. Is he waiting till after preseason game number 3? I guess, but I don't think it makes that much sense. So we still don't know what's going on with the 49ers. Both quarterbacks are taking first team reps. And we think that's a little bit of a mistake. But who are we, right? Who are we? Kyle Shanahan's the one that blew the leads in the Super Bowl. Not us, but what do we know, right? Okay. All right, and then when we have this up, does starting a rookie quarterback year 1, is that smart? So great job here by Albert Breer of just kind of laying out for the last 20 years first-round quarterbacks that were taken in the draft and when they finally started their first game. So let's just quickly go through this list, see where these great quarterbacks that were taken in the first round, see if they started game one, did they have to wait, and how did it turn out overall for their career, for their legacy at the quarterback position. So here we go. We got the last 20 years of drafts. So let's just go through it quickly. We're going to start from the bottom. Here we go. From 2000. Work our way up to 2021. Here we go. All right, Chad Pennington, first-round quarterback in 2000. He didn't start. He started his 41st game. It took him 41 games to get the start, and we know Chad Pennington never really turned out, so that's nothing that we can really judge. Then we had Michael Vick in 2001, a first-round pick. He started his 8th game, and we know he was a great quarterback. You know, absolutely fantastic. We got his stats up here somewhere because we're going to talk about him in another segment. But I mean, some solid play overall. We know he's got that great dual threat ability. 133 passing touchdowns. How many rushing touchdowns this man's got? We've got 36 rushing touchdowns as well. That seems a little light. Okay. All right, 36 though, still respectable. Not the best completion percentage, but still decently winning. 11-4. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. A couple of 8 and 7s, 8 and 6s. Only threw for 3,000 yards, but that was with Andy Reids. So Michael Vick, I mean, unfortunately never won a Super Bowl and went to prison. Yeah, I mean, he was great in his day. I mean, obviously the numbers from the 2000s, early 2000s are not kind of really what we are looking for in the 2010s and in today's game. But we do know that Michael Vick is a good quarterback, and he sat for 8 games before he got his first start. All right, then in 2002, we had David Carr. He started his first game. Nothing really great there. Joey Harrington, he started his 3rd game. He's nothing. And Patrick Ramsey, he started his 5th game. So that draft class really didn't pan out too well. Then in 2003, we get Carson Palmer. He started his 18th game, took a full season off the bench. And Carson Palmer, did he result in anything? Not really. He was okay for the Bengals. Nothing great. He's basically Andy Dalton. They had basically Andy Dalton and then Andy Dalton as their next quarterback. Carson Palmer, any good completion percentage years? 67, career 62.5. That's not bad overall. Couple of 4,000-yard passing seasons, 4,200. He had a 4,600-yard season in 2015. Jeez Louise, Carson Palmer. So, hey, you sit an entire year and you get it done? That's not bad. That's not bad. Carson Palmer. Not terrible overall. A little bit better than I was actually thinking. So, we'll give, I mean, that 2015 season with the Cardinals, jeez Louise, 13-3. 63% completion percentage, 4,600 yards, 35 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That's a fantastic year. Gosh dang. Where did they make it to that season? Was that the Steelers-Cardinals Super Bowl? I don't think so. They ended up losing second round against Carolina, getting blown out. Oh my goodness, 49-15. This was Cam Newton's year. I think this was Cam Newton's year where they lost the Super Bowl. Unfortunate. So that was a pretty good season by Carson Palmer. Unfortunately, floundered in the NFC Championship game. How truly unfortunate. So not a bad overall career by Carson Palmer, and he sat his first season, started his 18th game. Not bad. Then we get Byron Leftwich in 2003 as well, starting his 4th game. He turned out to be nothing. Kyle Bowler, he started his first game. He's nothing, so it doesn't matter if you start your first game. And then Rex Grossman, he started his 14th game. Let's bring up Rex Grossman's stats really quickly here. Did they win the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman? I think they got to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman. Is that correct? With Chicago, 13-3, 2006. They got to the Super Bowl, yeah, okay. So lost to the Super Bowl against the Colts, but he still got to the Super Bowl in his 4th year. Not bad. His first official year starting, and he gets to the Super Bowl. That's not bad. That season, he didn't have the greatest year. Really not good at all. Defense carried him heavily. Jeez. 54% completion percentage, 3,100 yards, 23 touchdowns with 20 interceptions. That's really not great, but that led to 13-3 for some reason. Overall, this man's not good, though. He had a 25-22 record, so Rex Grossman was not it either. He had that one one season, which he didn't play good, but his team was good. So Rex Grossman, nothing great. All right, we get 2004. Eli Manning, he started his 10th game, and we know his resume, 2-time Super Bowl winner against the greatest of all time. You don't got to start week 1, so maybe we really shouldn't be kind of championing for these rookie quarterbacks to play week 1. We haven't really seen a rookie quarterback play his first game and succeed. So far, the only quarterbacks that we've seen that start their first game are David Carr, nothing great there, and then Kyle Bowler, nothing great there. Carson Palmer starting his 18th game. Eli Manning starting his 10th game. Phillip Rivers starting his 33rd game. You know, first 2 seasons sitting behind Drew Brees. Ben Roethlisberger, he started his 3rd game. Once again, 2-time Super Bowl winner. Give him some credit. So that's big by him right there, starting his 3rd game. Really early on, still having success. Then we get 2005. We get Alex Smith starting his 5th game, and once again, solid overall career. Some solid performances overall. Got to a couple of playoff games, I believe. Did he get to a championship game? I don't think he did. We won't look that up. Well, it's not going to matter too much. Oh, actually, we do already have Alex Smith's stats up. So I guess we can look quickly. What did he have? Any great seasons? We got a 13-3 season, 2011. They lost the conference championship by 3. So he did get to a conference championship game. Not bad overall by Alex Smith. Did he get to a conference championship game with the Kansas City Chiefs? Went 11-5, 11-4. Lost divisional round, 2015, 2016. They lose divisional round again. So some decent playoff runs by Alex Smith. We'll give him some credit. We're going to talk about him in a second, so we can come back to him in a couple minutes in the show. Aaron Rodgers, obviously starting his 49th game. You know, his first start, the 49th game, sitting behind Brett Favre, and we know Aaron Rodgers is one of the best in the game. We got Vince Young, started his 4th game. Matt Leinart started his 5th game. Jay Cutler started his 12th game. 2007, we get LaMarcus Russell starting his 16th game. That didn't really pan out. Brady Quinn starting his 25th game. He was nothing great anyway. 2008, Matt Ryan and Joe Flacco both started their first game. They both got into a Super Bowl. Longevity in this kind of league, according to Nick Sirianni, Joe Flacco still has what it takes to be a starting quarterback because he still has to name Jalen Hurts as a starting quarterback. Joe Flacco's won a ring, got a $100 million contract. Matt Ryan got a big old contract as well. So you can start your first game and have success, like we know. Proven right there with Matt Ryan and Joe Flacco. Then in 2009, Matthew Stafford, he started his first game. Mark Sanchez, he started his first game too. He didn't really result in anything. His biggest accomplishment was riding the coattails of the Jets defense to getting the kind of, 4? Was it 4? 2? Between 2 and 4 straight AFC championship games with that defense. And who was their head coach? Rex Ryan? Josh Freeman started his 8th game. He never really panned out. Tim Tebow started his 14th game. 2010 draft, trash. Sam Bradford, he started his first game. Unfortunately, never really panned out that well. What do we got for Sam Bradford? He ever make a championship game? I don't think so. Let's bring up his stats very, very quickly right here. With the Rams, what do we got? No, nothing. He never even made the playoffs. The man never even made the playoffs. Sam Bradford, trash. He started his first game. Trash. All right, 2011, we get Cam Newton. He started his first game. Bingo, bango. He got to the Super Bowl, won an MVP. We get Jake Locker, started his 17th game. He never panned out. Blaine Gabbert, he started his 3rd game. Never panned out. Christian Ponder, he started his 7th game. Never panned out. All right, 2012, Andrew Luck, he started his first game and would have been one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but he decided to retire. How unfortunate. RG3, he started his first game and really kind of would have panned out if he didn't get injured. How unfortunate there. Ryan Tannehill, he started his first game, and look what he's doing with this Titans team. Just being that above-average game-managing quarterback that needs to be had. He got to the AFC Championship game 2 years ago. That's pretty gosh dang good. It looks to seem like, Adam Gase ruined a quarterback, which is not shocking at all. Brandon Whedon, the only bust of this quarterback draft, really. In 2012, Brandon Whedon, he started his first game but never did anything good. 2013, EJ Manuel, he started his first game. Unfortunate there, never really panned out with the Bills. We get Blake Bortles in 2014. He started his fourth game. Johnny Manziel started his 14th game. He's no longer in the league. And Teddy Bridgewater, he started his fourth game, and now he's got the starting job with the Broncos. Not bad. 2015, Jameis Winston, he started his first game. He ended up throwing 5,000 yards in a season. That's coveted. And now he's the starting quarterback for the Saints. Fantastic. Marcus Mariota, he started his first game. I think he did good his first year. Let's look at Marcus Mariota his first year. Unfortunately, now the backup with the Raiders, but still maybe potentially could make a comeback at some point. We would like to see him get an opportunity to do so. But did he go to the playoffs at all? He went 9-6 in 2017, and they lost the divisional round against the Patriots. Damn. 2017 Patriots, they lost the Super Bowl against the Eagles. So Marcus Mariota could have been a Super Bowl participant. Very, very close for one season. So not bad there. Alrighty. He started his first game as well. All right, now we're at 2016. Jared Goff, he started his 10th game, and we still don't even know if this man can play quarterback. Well, that's still up in the air, but he did get to a Super Bowl, so I guess we got to give him some credit. Carson Wentz, he started his first game. He's always on the door of leading his team to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, that door slams on an injury for some reason, and we never get to see him play in the Super Bowl. But, he's still serviceable, and he started his first game. Paxton Lynch, he started his 5th game, never panned out. 2017, Mitch Trubisky, he started his 5th game, and unfortunately, he's not a starter anymore. Patrick Mahomes, he started his 16th game and is now highly regarded as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. 1 Super Bowl champion, 2 Super Bowl appearances, MVP. He did win an MVP too, so it's like, geez, you can sit a year and still be great. Deshaun Watson started his 2nd game, and now he's under the microscope for sexual assault. So. All right, 2018, Baker Mayfield started his 4th game, and now he's got the right fit with this Browns team. Just made it pretty deep to the divisional round in the playoffs last season. Sam Darnold started his first game, and we don't even know if he could play quarterback. We don't even think he can. Josh Allen started his 2nd game and is now, top 6 quarterbacks in the league right now. Josh Allen, maybe top 5. We do have him top 5. I think we got him number 3. Josh Rosen, he started his 4th game. Yikes, big yikes on Josh Rosen. Lamar Jackson, he started his 10th game. Solid quarterback so far. 2019, Kyler Murray, he started his first game. He's great. Daniel Jones started his 3rd game. That's still up in the air, we want to believe, but it hasn't been shown quite yet. Dwayne Haskins started his 9th game. He's a bust. 2020, Joe Burrow started his first game, got injured. Tua started his 7th game, but it's looking solid. Justin Herbert started his 2nd game, is looking absolutely fantastic. Jordan Love hasn't started quite yet. So this quarterback list, folks, it doesn't matter. If you play week 1, you're not guaranteed any success. If you start your first game, you are not guaranteed any success in this league. If you start, midway in the season, once again, you can be good. You're not promised anything. And if you sit the entire year, once again, you are not promised anything. You may be good, you may be bad. So we really don't know, if you start game 1, that doesn't mean you're a surefire great quarterback in this league. And if you kind of rest and kind of wait it out and see, maybe let's not push anything quite yet because we don't want to ruin them, they could still get ruined. There's plenty of quarterbacks on this list that never amounted to anything that waited multiple games, folks. Johnny Manziel didn't play till his 14th game. J.P. Lossman didn't start till his 17th game. Jason Campbell waited till his 26th game. Jay Cutler, his 12th game. He's nothing great. Jamarcus Russell, 16th game. Brady Quinn, 25th game. And these were all first-round quarterbacks taken. Josh Freeman waited till his 8th game. So Tim Tebow waited till his 14th game. So there's no reason to wait, folks. Start Justin Fields. Will y'all stop clowning around and start Justin Fields, folks? There's no point of resting him. Oh, we don't want him to get hurt week 1 against the Rams. Oh, my God, what a lame thing to say. It doesn't matter. The guy's either got it or he doesn't. See how it goes. So you're not waiting 25 games to see if Brady Quinn pans out. Okay? He doesn't. Move on. Move on. You had 2 full seasons to move on, but you didn't. And now you're stuck with Brady Quinn. That doesn't work. So you can start. You don't have to not play your quarterbacks. You also don't have to play your quarterbacks either. Doesn't really matter, but see what you got. That would be my philosophy. If this kind of table shows us, hey, there's really no exact science, I would want to see what I have right now. So, just because you start week 1 doesn't mean you're a surefire. Just because you sit on the bench for a year doesn't mean you're going to be a surefire quarterback in this league either. See what you got right now to see if you have to make an adjustment next year. What are we doing? Alrighty. So we kind of hinted at this yesterday on the show and talked through it, but let's see if we get any specific instances. Urban Meyer already struggling as a head coach. You know, we said he was kind of losing the locker room yesterday. That was kind of the early report. We didn't really have anything, concrete. But let's see if we can go into this article that was published and see if they have any information on really why Urban Meyer is losing the locker room and is struggling his first year as a head coach. So let's see if we get any nice details in this article. Here we go. Early this week, Jacksonville Jaguars head coach Urban Meyer announced that Trevor Lawrence would serve as the team's starting quarterback heading into next season. The move was largely expected and didn't catch too many people off guard. Truly that. What has caught folks a little off guard, however, is the adjustment curve Meyer has been dealing with since landing his new gig. That hasn't really ever surprised us. We never bought into Urban Meyer. He's done nothing. He's shown us nothing. He's talked nothing. We've heard nothing. That Urban Meyer is like a good coach or a semi-good coach or even a coach at all here. All right. Let's keep going here. Between bizarre play calling, strange roster decisions, Tim Tebow, and unexpected public comments, Meyer has raised his fair share of eyebrows over the past few months. Perhaps most importantly, Meyer's somewhat unconventional decisions have already seemingly irked some of his players. So much so, in fact, that Jaguars players are now speaking out about how they don't like the college-type stuff he has brought to the organization. Once again, that's kind of what we were kind of hinting at and talking about yesterday. Coaching college kids and grown men are two different things, folks. They have different priorities. First of all, they're less mature or, overall, your brain doesn't develop to like you're 25. College, you're not 25. You end college at 25, maybe, if you get a master's or maybe struggle a little bit or just get a late start. Just the different mindset, the different priorities, the different temptations, the different kind of living situations. It's all totally different. Folks, it's 180 difference. It's truly night and day between college life and regular life. So Urban Meyer still hasn't really gotten up to speed on how you coach grown men out here. And then, according to CBS Sports NFL insider Pete Prisco, he said, quote, he's got to change a few things. Definitely going to have to do that. Another quote here, he brought in a bunch of college-like things to the program, which I don't necessarily agree with, and I've heard some of the players aren't thrilled with him either, including having a microphone on the field, one of his assistants on the field during practice with a boom mic, telling everybody to hydrate and hustle and get to the next period. All that being said, Meyer does have one thing going for him, his track record. Okay, his track record in college? Once again, we're not taking that college success and automatically translating it here to the NFL. There's plenty of college coaches that have never succeeded. The biggest one, Alabama's head coach. I'm blanking on his name. Damn, why am I blanking on that man's name? Damn. Y'all know that man. Alabama's coach. He tried the NFL, couldn't make it work, had a real short stint, went back down to college, still successful. We're not giving Urban Meyer the benefit of the doubt just because he was great in college. Not doing that. All right, last quote here by Peter Prisco. Here we go. Quote, he's been a good football coach everywhere he's been. Once again, everywhere as in college. Okay. Quote, it's a lot different when you recruit guys to your school and have a bunch of the top players than it is trying to build something. So it's going to be a challenge. I'm not giving up on what he can do in his first 2 games. I don't think that's fair to him or the quarterback, but they're not off to a good start, and that's definitely nothing that you want to hear. Your rookie head coach not off off to a good start. I mean, we've got some rookie head coaches here. Robert Saleh, he's off to a decent start. Dan Campbell's off to a horrendous start as well. Same thing like Urban Meyer. So Urban Meyer, you may have had great success at the collegiate level, but that doesn't mean you're going to have great success here, where the pressure is tenfold and the fans will get on you tenfold and the media will get on you tenfold, because NFL is the biggest, the last step at the best competitive. It's the competitive ceiling, folks, of football, the NFL. There's no higher than that. So Urban Meyer, he's got his work cut out for him, and we're going to be kind of, putting him under a microscope all season long to see if he can, coach his way up to a good NFL professional football coach. We'll see if he can do it. Alrighty. Let's talk about the Cowboys and Dak Prescott. Now, folks, this is it. We are done. 100% done. We get this article right here, which will put everything to rest on Dak Prescott's health. He is 1,000,000,000% fine, folks. So let's talk about it so we can stop talking about his injuries. We're done with it. Here we go. Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore says Dak Prescott no longer on a pitch count. We're just playing ball at this point. So that was what we heard in Hard Knocks episode 3 earlier this week. He's on a pitch count. We've also heard that in just articles as well. He's on a pitch count. The pitch count is officially over. The shoulder is 100% fine now. There is no more worries. If there was still worries, he would still be on the pitch count. The ankle is fine. That was debunked episode 1. He is good on the ankle. He is moving. He is throwing on the run perfectly fine. And now the shoulder is 100% perfectly fine as well. No more pitch counts for Dak Prescott. So let's see what they're talking about here in Dallas. Here we go. Another sign, another day, another sign of progress for Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott's recovery from a shoulder strain. Cowboys trainers are no longer limiting the number of practice throws Prescott can make, with offensive coordinator Kellen Moore noting, quote, "We're just playing ball at this point." According to Calvin Watkins of the Dallas Morning News, he had been on a pitch count, a noteworthy way to describe his recovery, as the HBO Hard Knocks series on Cowboys training camp revealed that Dallas had consulted doctors from the New York Yankees and Texas Rangers regarding the injury. On Wednesday, Prescott was turned loose for multiple series of 11-on-11 work for the first time since sustaining the injury early in training camp. He's not played in the Cowboys' first 3 preseason games, and Coach Mike McCarthy has said it's unlikely he will play in the preseason at all. And that's not because of his arm, folks. That's just because Mike McCarthy doesn't even want Dak Prescott practicing, even if he is healthy. He wants to protect that quarterback at all costs. The club will face the Jacksonville Jaguars to close exhibition play on Sunday. However, Prescott is expected to be available to begin the regular season play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on September 9th. Quote here by offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. Quote, "We're not looking at anything from a limitation standpoint. From his standpoint, we're getting ready for the regular season in Tampa Bay." So, once again, that wildly inaccurate Adam Schefter tweet from last week saying, "Oh, wait, Dak Prescott, my sources are saying, hey, maybe Dak Prescott isn't going to be 100% healthy all season long." It's butt kiss, folks. It's absolutely it's bunk. It's nothing. Dak Prescott is fine, truly fine out here. No more limitations. So maybe we can see him back out there doing great things in Hard Knocks episode 4, because we got to see more Dak. There was no Dak in episode 3, folks. Hardly any Dak. We got to see Dak. I want to see the Dak, baby. So show me the Dak. Hopefully we get the Dak episode 4. He is good. Alrighty. Here we go. Let's move on to the Browns in a big statement here, folks, talking about athleticism. Nobody wants to knock athleticism, folks, and athletes. You ever say, oh, this isn't an athlete. Oh, you call that an athlete? You call that a sport? You get instantly shredded anywhere. Anybody you talk to on social media, if you say that's not an athlete, that's something you really probably shouldn't be saying. But here we get Browns edge rusher, newly acquired edge rusher, Jadeveon Clowney, salivating at chance to face guards on the offensive line, saying, quote, "We love that matchup. That guard position, they're not real athletes down there." Ooh, yikes. Calling offensive linemen not athletes. All right, whatever you got to do to fire yourself up. Let's see what he means out here. So let's read this article. Here we go, quickly. Alrighty, the addition of Jadeveon Clowney in Cleveland this offseason came bundled with the expectations the former number 1 overall pick would help take pressure off Browns Defensive Player of the Year candidate Myles Garrett. To get the most out of the pairing, the Browns won't always line them up on opposite ends, hoping whoever gets single blocked will win off the edge. Instead, defensive coordinator Joe Woods wants to put them next to each other at times. Both Garrett and Clowney's ability to take snaps as a defensive tackle would provide issues for offensive lines. One would imagine most snaps in which the first-round picks play next to each other would include Clowney playing inside. Offensive lines would have to decide whether to allow Garrett to go one-on-one on the outside, keep a tight end in to help, or leave Clowney mano-a-mano with interior blocker. Clowney is salivating at the idea of regularly facing guards, saying, quote, "We love that matchup. We feel like they're the unathletic guys. That guard position, they're not real athletes down there, so they're just physical and maulers, but we try to get in there and create those matchups for certain guys, and hopefully we get some wins." You've got to think different on the interior. Everything happens very, very fast down there. Those guys are much bigger down there. So yes, your whole mindset has got to change in how you attack the quarterback, how you attack the guys down there. So, alrighty, that isn't the biggest knock. He's just calling them a little unathletic, which they are. I was a guard. I am not the most athletic person in the world. So, he kind of disrespects them by saying they're not athletic, but then, respects them again by saying, those guys down there are much bigger, and they are big guys. That's why they're on the offensive line. But we'll see if this just fuels the fire of the offensive line. He's calling me unathletic? Psh, he's going to call me not an athlete? I'm a professional football player. I'm getting paid millions out here. I would kind of say I'm a professional athlete. I'm athletic. So maybe Jadeveon Clowney, maybe this kind of plays into the fire and to fuel the offensive linemen, because we never hear from the offensive linemen. You never hear from the offensive linemen. They're not out, in the press conferences in the media, saying, oh, I'm going to pancake this guy, and, they're never going to get behind me. They're all just, take everything in stride. They hear everything. They don't say anything, but then they just go out there and protect Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees so they can win the game. So watch out, Jadeveon Clowney. If his production kind of dips this season, we kind of know why, because he's out here disrespecting some offensive linemen. I don't know if you want to disrespect those guys. Like you said, they're much bigger than you down there, so I don't know if you want to pick a fight with them. All right, we get one more quote here by somebody, so let's read the lead up here. It won't be his every down position, but in certain, quote, NASCAR formations, there wouldn't be a scarier 1-2 punch in the NFL for offensive lines to deal with than Garrett and Clowney on the same side. All right, quote here by Woods. Here we go. Quote, "He's very hard to block. So when it comes to game plans, I definitely feel like we need to move him some because he's a little bit tougher. When it comes to rushing the passer with the guys we have up front, we can move him around and we can create one-on-one matchups with whoever we want. I'm happy to have that in my arsenal. It will be on display at some point." So we already know, just having Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett on the same defensive line is going to be disruptive as heck, whether they're edge rushing or just coming right up the middle. That defense of the Browns is going to be better because of that pressure of the quarterback, pressure up front. So we'll see how well they do. But Jadeveon Clowney, kind of calling some people out here. So we'll see if that's a good move. We'll see. Alrighty, let's talk about this. Talk about the tight end position right here and some big words for Russell Wilson. Seahawks tight end Gerald Everett hoping to shine with Russell Wilson, saying, quote, "This is the first time in my career playing with a quarterback of his caliber." Whoa, some big words there for Russell Wilson. But let's see what Gerald Everett has been doing out here, folks. Who has Gerald Everett been catching passes from? Here we go. So Gerald Everett going into his 5th season, his first 4 years playing with the Rams of Jared Goff. Ooh. So once again, a little bit of another knock on Jared Goff. So we're going to, obviously be paying close attention to Jared Goff in the lines this season to see if this man can truly play. But Gerald Everett playing with Russell Wilson has some big words for him. Excited to play with them. Gerald Everett's kind of production the first 4 years with the Rams, nothing great. Tight ends, we really want to see you at 800 to 1,000 yards now. That's kind of the new standard at the tight end position, and Gerald Everett really wasn't doing that with the Rams. 200 yards year 1, 320 yards year 2, 400 yards years 3 and 4. So, all right, production, getting better production every single season, which is good. But we really kind of want to see you 800 to 1,000. Travis Kelce can do it, Darren Waller can do it, and they're the best tight ends in the league. So, if that's kind of what we're looking for, that's what we're looking for. If you want to be the best tight end in the league, you better be putting up 1,000 yards consistently. So let's quickly go, before we get into that article and see what Gerald Everett's truly saying about Russell Wilson, let's see, does Russell Wilson improve the tight end position? Does Russell Wilson ever throw like 1,000 yards to his tight ends so we can kind of expect that great production from Gerald Everett? Or does Russell Wilson in this Seattle offense just never really go to their tight ends? Or maybe they kind of do max out at 400 yards, 500 yards, not kind of going to a Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, 1,300 yards a year. So let's see what these Seattle tight ends were doing the first couple of years with Russell Wilson. So let's take a look at this. 2012, Russell Wilson's first year. His tight end was Zach Miller, and he only had 396 yards receiving, so about 400 yards. That's what Gerald Everett is, done his entire career. All right, let's go to 2013. Seahawks tight end in 2013. What do we got? Let's see what Russell Wilson was doing here in 2013 with the Zach Miller again, going for, once again, only 387 yards. So, once again, nothing, earth-shattering, record-breaking. Let's go to his third year, 2014. We're getting these tight ends a little bit more involved. Luke Wilson catching for only 362 yards. Okay. So it's kind of going to be, it's kind of seeming like already that we're just going to get, regular production out of Gerald Everett. Here we go. Let's go 2015. Seahawks tight ends. What do we got? We got Jimmy Graham. All right, now we're starting to pick it up because we know Jimmy Graham is a very, very good, solid tight end in this league, and he caught 600 yards in 2015. That's real gosh dang good. Now we're starting to get here. Let's go to 2016. Are we still increasing the tight end production? 2016 tight end, we still got Jimmy Graham, and that's what we're talking about, 923 yards receiving. So they just are looking for a good tight end to give all those great passing yards to. All right, we'll see if Gerald Everett can do that. Let's keep it up here in 2016. That's the same year. We got to go to 2017. All right, 2016, that was the 900-yard season by Jimmy Graham. Let's go to 2017. What was the tight end doing in 2017 with the Seahawks? Jimmy Graham is back at the tight end, but took a little bit of a dip, 520 yards that season. 2018, we got 3 more seasons, folks. 2018 for the Seahawks. The tight end, I believe, is still Jimmy Graham. Let's see what he was doing. No, we got Nick Vanette. He caught for 296 yards. Interesting. Maybe they ran 2 tight ends. Unfortunate for Pro Football Reference, they only have like the one starter. We can't really see all the other tight ends. Do you still got Jimmy Graham on this team somewhere? Maybe he was injured this season. Okay, can't really see it. All right, so 2018, not the best year for the tight ends here in Seattle. Let's keep up to 2019, and then 2020. Here we go, 2019, quarterback, tight end combo. Let's see. 2019 tight end for the Seahawks, Will Dissly, 300 yards, 262 to be specific. And then just last season, let's see what these tight ends were doing. If it wants to load. And it doesn't want to load. So, okay. So, either way, we got to see Gerald Everett kind of step it up a little bit more. if he can prove he can be the big old tight end that Jimmy Graham was for the 920-yard season in 2016, then maybe we got something here. But let's go into this article and see what we got. The Wi-Fi is acting up. How truly unfortunate. So we will have to go to our backup option, which is looking at these articles on our phone. So unfortunately, they won't be on the screen, but we will talk it through. So no worries. So here we go. Let's see what Gerald Everett was saying here about Russell Wilson. All right, here we go. Spending 4 years with the LA Rams, playing with Jared Goff, Everett is coming off back-to-back 400-plus yard seasons while playing an ancillary role in Sean McVay's offense. Signing in Seattle, Everett believes he has the chance to explode playing with Russell Wilson, and we have seen only 1 year, where a tight end really exploded. 2016 with Jimmy Graham, 900 yards. So Russell Wilson doesn't really kind of go to his tight ends for 1,000 yards. I mean, folks, we're talking about 1,300 yards by Travis Kelce last season. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. 1,100 yards by Darren Waller the last 2 seasons. So once again, this is not out of the realm of like, whoa, you're putting, a high standard at the tight end position. No. This is what great teams do or can do. It's an option that some players take advantage of, some teams take advantage of. So that's what we're saying here. All right, quote here by Gerald Everett. Quote, I mean, this is the first time in my career playing with a quarterback of his caliber. I really want to take advantage of this opportunity, whether I'm here for the short term or long term. Every day is a blessing, and working closely with a guy like Russell, I just want to hone in and make sure I become the player I've always wanted to be. We get another quote. Now we get a quote by Russell Wilson talking about Gerald Everett. So, quote here by Russell Wilson, Gerald's super elusive. He keeps getting open. He finds a way to make plays. He's been exceptional for us, and I've got great confidence in him. So, hopefully we can get a great quarterback tight end combo here between Gerald Everett and Russell Wilson for the Seahawks team, so they're not just relying on DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett the entire season, can switch it up a little bit and use that tight end position to their benefit. So perfect there by Gerald Everett. We'll see if he can become a 1,000-yard, 900-yard receiving tight end. I mean, you've got the quarterback to do so in Russell Wilson. Let's see if Gerald Everett in the play calling fit the tight ends. Alrighty, so let's talk about this here. We get Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce saying, quote, I don't think Patrick Mahomes needed a year behind Alex Smith to be great. So that kind of prompted me. I was like, because I wasn't the biggest believer in Alex Smith. So I was like, well, of course, Patrick Mahomes didn't need to sit a year behind Alex Smith. What is Patrick Mahomes going to learn from Alex Smith? So that prompted me to look up Alex Smith's career stats, which are pretty good. I mean, a lot better than I really thought they were and give them credit for. But then my thinking took another turn right here. And I was like, well, he really popped off in 2012 was a really solid year completion percentage-wise, not really statistical all around. He only started 9 games. But really, he started to pop off 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17. He had, 4 real great back-to-back seasons. And, he was playing with the Chiefs from 2013 to 2017. That's why he had great success. And who was the coach for the Chiefs from 2013 to 2017 with Alex Smith, who was doing nothing great his seasons leading up to these seasons with Kansas City. So these are Alex Smith's stats before heading to Kansas City Chiefs, where he was now coached by Andy Reid. So here we go, 2005 rookie year, only started 7 games, but 50% completion percentage, 800 yards, 1 touchdown, 11 interceptions. Jeez Louise, oh my goodness, what are you doing? What the hell? That's absolutely atrocious. But second year, 2006, starting all 16 games, still, once again, only 58% completion percentage, 2,800 yards, 16 touchdowns, 16 picks. That's not good, folks. That's not a good year. 2007, only played 7 games. 2008, he missed a season because of a shoulder injury. Now back, starting in 2009, only played 10 games. 60% completion percentage, 2,300 yards, 18 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Not bad overall for only playing 10 games. 2010, once again, only played 10 games. 59% completion percentage, 2,300 yards, 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Not that great. Then we get 2011, finally back to playing all 16 games, 61% completion percentage, 3,100 yards, 17 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, and they went 13-3. That was a pretty solid year. Then 2012, only started 9 games, 70% completion percentage, 1,700 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. So not the best of his career, really never played a full season. And then he got to Kansas City, and he had consecutive good years. 60% completion percentage year 1, 65% completion percentage year 2, 65% completion percentage year 3, 67% completion percentage year 4, 67% completion percentage year 5. And these records, 11-4, 8-7, 11-5, 11-5, 9-6. So Alex Smith was getting the most under Andy Reid. So what was Andy Reid doing his entire coaching history? That prompted us this. So maybe we have to start, let me just tell you where I'm going with this. Maybe we have to start thinking of Andy Reid as truly an elite top level head coach, like maybe second under Bill Belichick, really. Because he's had great success at the quarterback position everywhere he went. Unfortunately, really just kind of got, the championship really eluded him ever since, or up until he got, Patrick Mahomes, that really just finally put him over the edge. So Andy Reid's kind of quarterback coaching history started in Philadelphia in 1999 with Doug Peterson being the starting quarterback there. Yes, the Doug Peterson for the Eagles. He only started 9 games, went 2-7, unfortunate. 52% completion percentage, 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, 9 interceptions for Doug Peterson, and that was really it for his career. Never really started after that. He started 8 games the year after, and then that was it. And then he gets Donovan McNabb from 2000 to 2009. And we know that Donovan McNabb is a solid quarterback. Some solid seasons here in the early 2000s. Nothing great overall. Obviously never won a championship, but still made it work. 11-5 season, 11-5 season, 12-4, 13-2, 10-4, 9-6-1, 8-6. Was always able to kind of be productive with Donovan McNabb. And then he moves off of Donovan McNabb for Michael Vick from 2009 all the way till 2013, and once again was able to kind of get some good production offensively throwing by Michael Vick. Michael Vick didn't really have that great passing yards in Atlanta. He was overall a good quarterback, a great athlete, a great rusher, but pure passing wise, Michael Vick was never up to good standards. I mean, he never threw over 56% completion percentage his first 7 years in the league, folks, and then he goes to jail for 2 years, comes back to Philadelphia, and now these passing numbers are pretty good. 62% completion percentage, 59% completion percentage, 58% completion percentage. Like, they're not good, but they're the best of what Michael Vick did. And then he also threw back-to-back 3,000 yards passing-wise. He never threw 3,000 yards before Andy Reid. So Andy Reid was able to get the most out of Michael Vick. Once again, unfortunately not getting to the Super Bowl and not winning the Super Bowl and anything like that. Unfortunate. And then after Michael Vick, we get Alex Smith. And once again, we just talked about his numbers. Real solid numbers in the Kansas City Chiefs era. And then obviously we know they get Patrick Mahomes, and Andy Reid is now winning Super Bowls and now winning titles. So Andy Reid has always kind of been a good head coach for the quarterbacks, training these quarterbacks, getting the most out of these quarterbacks, and now has finally gotten Patrick Mahomes and that Super Bowl ring. So let's go back. I don't know. Do we even need to go in this article? That was really all I really wanted to talk about here in that regard, that maybe we really should be respecting Andy Reid a little bit more, folks. The man has really been great everywhere he's been, made the most out of every quarterback that he's been given, and now it's all coming to a head with Andy Reid, so he's winning championships now. So if Andy Reid gets a couple more rings, maybe 1 or 2 more rings, maybe we start talking about him in the same category and discussion that we talk about Bill Belichick. Unfortunately, the one thing that's a little bit more impressive with Andy Reid, that he was winning with multiple quarterbacks, where we've only seen Bill Belichick only win with Tom Brady. Now, Andy Reid didn't win at the highest level with these other quarterbacks, just kind of won meaningful games and had good records overall, where Bill Belichick was winning Super Bowls every single season with Tom Brady. So it's just a thought, folks, just a little interesting thing to think about. Maybe Andy Reid is absolutely fantastic at the head coaching position, like we are kind of seeing now with the Chiefs. So it was always there, folks. Andy Reid was always great. All right, what else do we get here? Let's keep going here. ESPN, Michael Rothstein reports that the Atlanta Falcons will use tight end Kyle Pitts, quote, all over the formation to try to find the exploitable matchups. And that's fantastic. We don't want to see Kyle Pitts locked in at the tight end position. Yes, he's great blocking and catching, but we also want to see him on the perimeter, on the edges, one-on-one coverage, straight line down the field, because he's got great size and speed, 6'6", and he runs fast as heck. So I'm glad that we're going to get to see Kyle Pitts all over the field. He's not going to be stuck in the tight end position, the limited tight end role. He's going to be all over the field like we saw Darren Waller last season. Darren Waller was all over the formation with the Raiders, and the man was absolutely almost unstoppable, folks. 1,100 yards for Darren Waller last season. So expect that for Kyle Pitts' rookie year, coming out of the gate blasting. And the other great thing about Kyle Pitts, you line Calvin Ridley on one side of the field, you line Kyle Pitts on the other side. It's a bad day for the defenses out here, folks. So Kyle Pitts in this Atlanta offense, I love what Arthur Smith is kind of doing here. He is kind of a more offensive-minded head coach. We just saw him coming from the Titans offensive coordinator spot. So he's able to work with great wide receivers. And, with the Titans, Arthur Smith had Corey Davis and A.J. Brown, and now you've got Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts. I mean, this is going to be it should be a real solid passing game attack. We just really want to see Atlanta have the running back. They just don't. How unfortunate is that? So Arthur Smith getting it done here. Kyle Pitts should be getting it done here. And this Atlanta passing offense really should be something special, folks. Hopefully Matt Ryan steps up to the plate. Hopefully all these other receivers and the offensive line holds up. And, if they just had a running game, this would be one of the most complete dangerous offenses in the league. Unfortunately, they don't have that. So we're expecting great big things from Kyle Pitts. He'll be all over the field. All right, we get an update on Ja'Marr Chase. Everything has not been going this man's way, and not looking great for this man at all. But the Athletics' Paul Denner Jr. believes that Cincinnati Bengals' Ja'Marr Chase has, quote, a fantastic week of practice. So hopefully we get to see Ja'Marr Chase in preseason game number 3. We're getting to see Joe Burrow in preseason game number 3. So we should be able to see Ja'Marr Chase and how that kind of repetition and rhythm and timing is down already, because we haven't seen Joe Burrow at all in the preseason. And hopefully we get to see Ja'Marr Chase start to finally come into his own, because remember, folks, he was the first wide receiver drafted in this year's draft. So there is a lot of pressure on this man to succeed and excel right out of the gate. We didn't use, the number 5 overall pick on you so you could be good late in the season or in garbage time when we're already eliminated mathematically from the playoffs, or next season. We need great instant production from Ja'Marr Chase right now, and everything we've been seeing, drops, not getting separation, potentially hitting pregnant females. We don't know if that's true or not, but either way, everything has just been stacked against Ja'Marr Chase in a bad light. So he's finally had a fantastic week of practice, and we'll see if we get to look at that in preseason game number 3. Alrighty, we get Saquon Barkley. He was kind of finally back at practice, non-contact jersey, and we get to see him a little bit here. 2 passes caught out of the backfield by Saquon Barkley against no defenses, just, working with rhythm and timing and just the overall schemes and how things look with the offense. So he's just out here catching some good balls. Don't really get to see him run full speed either. A slow little cut right there. It was good, but it wasn't at full speed. So Saquon Barkley coming slowly but surely, way more slowly than we want, unfortunate. And then we get this right here, like we knew this was going to happen, but the Giants, Saquon Barkley, will not play versus the New England Patriots in their final preseason game. So Saquon Barkley, hopefully he's good to rock by week 1. It's not promising. It's going to be truly unfortunate if he's not ready to go week 1, but that's where we're at with Saquon Barkley. How unfortunate. Not looking the best, not looking at full speed just quite yet, and still not practicing. But then we get OBJ finally taking first-team reps with the first team in preseason. So once again, OBJ coming back from an ACL tear. He's ready to rock. We get Joe Burrow back from an ACL tear, ready to rock. He's playing in preseason game number 3. But Saquon Barkley, who had the injury first, he had the most time to get ready, the most time to rehab, and he's still question mark. So that's why we're a little nervous overall with this Giants team and Saquon Barkley. What is going on? Why is he not ready quite yet while everybody else coming back from their ACLs are? So OBJ with the Browns is back with the first team reps with the first team and getting in that great work. Where Saquon Barkley, he's in the red shirt still. All right, and then we get this. Robert Saleh, Jets head coach, said quarterback Zach Wilson is, quote, light years ahead of normal rookies in his study habits and preparation. So we've kind of gotten this insane growth because remember, like 2 weeks ago on the show, we heard that Robert Saleh said, it's going to get worse before it gets better for Zach Wilson. And now he's saying Zach Wilson is light years ahead of normal rookies in his study habits and preparation. So we're hearing some good things about Zach Wilson now. I mean, folks, this last week in the media, it's been kind of slobbing on Zach Wilson. I don't know what that's all about. It's really came out of nowhere. I don't know if I truly see it all on the tape, but, everyone's saying that Zach Wilson is statistically having the best preseason out of all the rookies. Everyone's saying that Zach Wilson's looking like Aaron Rodgers. It's real bizarre where all these kind of narratives are coming from. It all came, out of the blue, just like Justin Fields' pre-draft stock. It all just kind of fell apart one day. Everyone's like, oh, well, this man's not going to be, what was the one dig on him? Justin Fields. Oh, man, I'm blanking on what that narrative was. Anyway, it all just came right out of the blue. That's why Justin Fields fell to number 11. That's why, the 49ers didn't take Justin Fields because there was kind of a knock that came out for some reason. Or no, maybe I'm thinking of wide receiver Devonte Smith. Why his draft stock fell because everyone was like, oh, he's so small. But once again, that just came out of like left field for no reason. And now we're kind of getting the same thing with Zach Wilson. A lot of people hyping up Zach Wilson all of a sudden. So let's be a little cautious on the Zach Wilson hype. We'll see if it plays out. Cards are definitely stacked against this Jets team overall just because rookie head coach, rookie quarterback. But Robert Saleh, his opinion is starting to kind of change and starting to kind of truly buy into Zach Wilson and start to hype him up a little bit. So we'll see how Zach Wilson is looking. I'm sure he's probably going to play preseason game number 3, get him a little bit more reps heading into the start of the regular season. But we'll keep an eye on what Zach Wilson's looking like. But according to Robert Saleh, light years ahead of normal rookies in preparation and study habits. So we'll see if we buy into that. So he should be good to go week 1 and start, slinging the ball around. If you have this great firm grasp on the offense because of your preparation and study habits, well, you got to put it out there on the field and on the tape so we can see it. Alrighty. We got 2 more stories right here. Quickly, let's go through them. And then we'll talk about the preseason games on tonight and where we can make a little bit of money at. All right, so here we go. We get a key themes here from the NFL. So let's just kind of go over these and just kind of maybe we're going to have to retool our betting strategies, our betting habits a little bit through the season. So let's take a look at these key themes that the NFL was seeing across the games last season. So here we go. In 2020, teams combined to score the most total points, 12,692, and the most total touchdowns, 1,473 in a single season in NFL history. So, alrighty, maybe we'll have to kind of start buying the overs a little bit more. Most total points and most total touchdowns in a season in NFL history last year. The 2020 average total score per game, both teams combined, was the most in a single season since 1970, 49.6 points combined average. So we're definitely going to have to pay close attention to this number. As we're looking, we don't really bet the overs and unders. We really just kind of look at the spreads. But if we get great value with some low under over totals, let's go back to this overall number of 49.6 combined, both teams combined average both games, every game. So real interesting there. All right, what else do we get? In 2020 featured competitive and unpredictable games, close games. 69.9% of all games, 179 out of 256, were within one score, 8 points, in the fourth quarter. The second most games in a single season in NFL history. So once again, very close games, 1 point game, or one score games, 8 point games. Max. So once again, let's pay close attention. 70% of all games were within one score, 8 points, folks. So when we're looking at spreads and kind of getting, 9-10 points on a team, having to swallow 9-10 points, 30% of the time, it's not going to happen. So we'll have to pay close attention to the spread and double-digit spreads and all of that. 2-possession game spreads and all of that. Comebacks, 43 games were won by a team trailing by at least 10 points, tied for the most in a single season in NFL history. Young stars are thriving, especially at the quarterback position. 2020 was the first season in league history in which 4 quarterbacks under the age of 26 each recorded at least 30 touchdown passes in the same season. So the passing game is enhancing. The total scores are enhancing. The most ever, the most touchdowns. So let's look for a lot of scores. And if we get a lot of points, 5, 6, 7 points by a team, let's take them because there's close games, a lot of scoring. Anything can happen. Close games, come back from behinds. The most that we've ever seen in the NFL history, and now it's going to get more and more because the rules are, once again, always favoring the offense in the passing game and all that. So we've got some good betting stats that maybe we can kind of rely on a little bit right here. A lot of scoring last season, and it doesn't seem like it's going to start slowing down anytime soon. So that's just a nice little kind of rundown on what the NFL was seeing last year. We'll see if the trend continues to go up like it basically should. There's really nothing that I can see why these numbers would start to go back down. All right, the last thing to talk about here. Here we go. The top 5 takeaways from Eagles training camp by Albert Breer. He spends a day at training camp, writes down his top 5 takeaways. So let's see what Albert Breer was saying about the Eagles quarterback camp, or the Eagles training camp. Here we go. Takeaway number 1. Pleasant camp surprise. Tight end Zach Ertz. The vet's healthy and looks like himself again, and amid trade rumblings, he has been a pro and an asset to Hurts. So we have heard Zach Ertz kind of hinting at wanting to get out of Philadelphia, requesting a trade, getting out of here through a trade, doesn't kind of want to be on this team anymore, but we haven't really heard anything for the last 3-4 weeks ever since training camp truly started. So Zach Ertz being great out here, great tight end, went to tight end university, and making it easy for Jalen Hurts to kind of get into his first full season. So expect Zach Ertz to still be an Eagle by week 1. All right, takeaway number 2, 2020 free agent signing Javon Hargraves. Looks like he's breaking through, should be disruptive for a very good defense. All righty, so some players are starting to keep planning out and keep growing out here. Let's see how Nick Sirianni kind of handles these younger players, newly acquired players. Takeaway number 3, this is a big year for Jordan Mailata. And the Aussie project Philly took on in 2018 looked like he's turned a corner. Credit offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland. Really great story. So let's see if he can continue to get better right here. 2018, foreign guy, coaching up. We saw the foreign guy with the Dallas Cowboys on Hard Knocks, the offensive lineman, taking a little bit of time to, Isaac, Isaac Aragore or something like that. The offensive lineman from Mexico, I believe. So, hey, took Jordan Mailata a couple of seasons since 2018, finally starting to turn a corner 3 seasons later. So, let's keep that in mind with Isaac Alacorn, if he can kind of get right there. But the offensive line kind of beefing up a little bit here for the Eagles. Nice takeaway. All right, takeaway number 4. Outside expectations are relatively low. Truly that. We've got no real faith in this Eagles team. We really think they are the worst team in the NFC East. We have it kind of ordered Cowboys, Giants, Washington, Eagles. That's how we have it ordered. But takeaway number 4. outside expectations are relatively low, but the offensive line and defensive line quality and depth should keep the team in games. So that's definitely great. Protecting Jalen Hurts, the young quarterback out here, and the defensive line pressuring the quarterback. We know that wins games. So offensive line and defensive line depth are not an issue here in Philadelphia. All right, then the last takeaway number 5. No secret, Philly needs Devonte Smith and Jalen Reagor, the 2 wide receivers, who's had a slow start but is finally starting to get it, is in better shape now to deliver. But long, fast Quez Watkins has emerged as a real option. Team thinks he got lost and was a find in the 20 draft depth in wide receiver. So we know Jalen Reagor has, possesses the abilities to be great. We believe Devonte Smith is going to be the best wide receiver in this year's draft class. And if Quez Watkins, who we've kind of been hearing slowly starting to get up to speed here in this offense, if he can really emerge, it's just going to make, Jalen Hurts' job easier, Nick Sirianni's job easier, the offensive line that's so deep in quality, their job easier. So maybe they can make a surprise run somewhere for a wild card spot, or if everybody's just floundering in the NFC East again like they did last year, maybe they could potentially, possibly, most likely not, have a chance at competing for the division. But some nice core young pieces right here. We're giving Nick Sirianni a little bit of a 1-year pass, not a total pass. We still have to see some good production and some good wins, but a little bit of a free pass to get everything right heading into next season. So, nothing great here by the Eagles, but some good takeaways to believe in. Alrighty, the last thing to do here, we got like 10 minutes left to go in the show, so let's head over to the preseason games on tonight, and let's see if we can make a little bit of money if there's any great value. So here we go, 4 games on tonight. We get the Colts and the Lions, Eagles and the Jets, Steelers and the Panthers, and the Vikings and the Chiefs. Alrighty. Let's see if we like any of these teams and any of the values. Let's start with the first game on, Colts and the Lions. Colts -2, Lions at home +2. Now, I would stay away from the Colts. I don't know if I like the Lions. I would kind of stay away from this game overall. Why I don't like the Colts is because last week, Jacob Eason and Sam Ehlinger absolutely looked atrocious, could barely move the ball at all, had to settle for 4 field goals throughout the entire game. So I can't buy into this Colts offense, especially since they're probably going to be resting a lot of starters, and Jacob Eason and Sam Ehlinger are just not getting it done, where the Lions, the last 2 preseason games, have been able to put up points. They haven't been able to win, but they've been able to put up points. They put up 15 against the Bills and 20 against the Steelers the last 2 games, and they're at home here. It's not a bad bet to go and bet the Lions. Plus, they're getting 2 points. That's not bad value. I kind of like the Lions with the points there. I can't trust this Colts offense. I would strongly suggest staying away from the Colts here tonight. All right, then we get the Eagles and the Jets. Eagles at +5.5, Jets at -5.5. Real big spread here that I don't like at all. I would probably stay bigly away from this spread. Eagles haven't been the best offensively. They put up 16 against the Steelers, and then they just got shut out last week against the Eagles. That's not promising. Jalen Hurts did not play in the last preseason game, so they couldn't move the ball there. Joe Flacco couldn't get it done either. How he's supposed to be so great and competing for the starting job, he can't even put up any points in preseason. So I'm a little hesitant on taking the Eagles. And then the Jets, are we going to get Zach Wilson? I don't know if there's any notice on that. The Jets have won their last 2 preseason games, so that's pretty good value. I probably wouldn't swallow the 5 points here. I think I would just take probably the Jets on the money line. All right, then we get the Steelers and the Panthers, and this is where I do like the spread. Steelers and Panthers, now we know it's going to be no Mason Rudolph, no Big Ben. It's only going to be Dwayne Haskins out there from start, maybe to finish. We don't know if he's going to play the whole game. We know Mason Rudolph will not be playing. But the Steelers have been able to kind of move the ball decently in their preseason games. They've won all 3 of them. 16 points game 1, 24 points game 2, 26 points game 3. Dwayne Haskins, he's been, showing out a little bit. Dwayne Haskins, 4 of 7 and 56 yards in the last preseason games against the Lions. Against the Eagles, he put up 161 yards and 1 passing touchdowns. And once again, all the scoring is really coming from the second half. Besides last week where Big Ben put up 14 points, the rest of the team put up 12 points, which is still not terrible. So the B squad, the C squad is still able to move the ball here for the Steelers. I like that. Dwayne Haskins, serviceable quarterback, where we look at what the Panthers have been doing, not doing anything. They put up 18 points in the preseason game 1. They lost the game. And then last week, they only put up 3 points against the Ravens. So I think I get a little bit more of offensive production from the Steelers, and they've won every single preseason game. And we're getting 4 points. I think that's some solid, good value right there. I would take the Steelers in the points here. And then the last game, the Vikings and the Chiefs. Vikings +4, Chiefs -4. I would strongly stay away from taking the Vikings here because, once again, they just cannot move the ball without their starters. Their backup quarterback's absolutely atrocious. Could not do anything last week against the Colts in preseason. Only put up 10 points, and then in preseason game number 1, they only put up 6 points. So this team struggles to move the ball if it's not Kirk Cousins out there, and Kirk Cousins is not going to be playing in this game. I would stay away from the Vikings. Do we like the Chiefs? I like the Chiefs by default because I don't like the Vikings, and the Chiefs are at home. Maybe take the Chiefs on the money line. So I like the Lions with the 2 points. I'm not in love with it, but I think it's good. I like the Jets on the money line. I like the Steelers +4, and I like the Chiefs on the money line as well. Some decent value. I think the best game to bet, I think it's really great value right here. I think this is the best value of the night, is the Steelers +4 points. I think that's exceptional value. They've been able to move the ball, and we get 4 points just in case if anything goes wrong. We get a 4-point buffer. We'll take that. Absolutely. Alrighty, folks, that is going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We are back live tomorrow, noon Eastern. Let's see if anything has been breaking. The Wi-Fi is still acting up. How truly unfortunate. But let's see. Was there anything breaking as we were live? Anything good out here? What do we got? Nothing seems to be breaking. So that seems to do it for us today, folks. We'll be back live tomorrow, noon Eastern, when we break down the preseason games from today, preview the preseason games tomorrow, and we'll see if we can finally get going on seeing if we can make any money off of all win totals for these teams. Alrighty, folks, so we will be out of here, and we will see you tomorrow. Wow, the 49ers, Trey Lance, and Jimmy Garoppolo are expected to share playing time this season. We'll see if that works out. I don't know. All right, folks, we're out of here, and we'll see you tomorrow.